Welcome, dear viewers, to the tragedy of Janet Jackson being sued by her ex-husband. I know, it's a sad and depressing topic, but we're here to try and bring a little bit of levity to the situation. First things first, who was Janet Jackson, you might be wondering? Well, let me give you a quick rundown. She is from the Jackson family, the family Michael Jackson, the king of pop, came from. Janet is a wildly successful pop star who has been in the entertainment industry for over 4 decades. Janet Jackson and her older siblings, notably Michael Jackson, made appearances as children on the television program The Jacksons. Through the 1980s, she maintained her acting and singing careers before breaking out as a superstar with the release of the multi-platinum Rhythm Nation 1814. She has 3 Grammys to her name. Jackson sang Doesn't Matter for the soundtrack of the summer 2000 film Nutty Professor 2, The Clumps, in addition to playing the lead role. And she is known for hits like Nasty,
In the movie show, thinking nasty thoughts.
Rhythm Nation, and That's the Way Love Goes, and has also won numerous awards for acting and philanthropy. Even with all of her successes, Janet has had her fair share of struggles, and one of the biggest challenges she's faced is dealing with a lawsuit from her ex-husband. But how did we get here? How did things go so wrong between these two lovebirds? Well, it all started back in the late 80s when Janet and her ex-husband, whose name we shall not mention out of respect for his privacy, met and fell in love. They seemed like the perfect match, both successful and talented in their respective fields, with a shared love of music and performing. Plus, the ex had been a music director and a songwriter, and they both had a lot in common. They dated for a few years, and their courtship was fairly low-key, with the couple keeping their relationship out of the public eye as much as possible. Jackson acknowledged that she had chosen to keep the marriage a secret. When the divorce application was made public, she declared in a statement that she wished to live a normal family life. My personal life has been lived in the public eye since I was a young child, she told Rolling Stone. This has at times been challenging. I'm hoping my supporters will get it. So, eventually, they decided to take the next step and get married. He went ahead to propose. Jackson said he proposed to her on a beach in the middle of a rainstorm. Her ex was a former backup dancer who became a songwriter and director. They tied the knot of their marriage in a closed ceremony nobody knew about at the time. It was kept a secret from the press and the public. And what a wedding it was! According to an anonymous source, the ceremony was held at a luxurious hotel in Qatar, with a guest list that included some of the biggest names in the entertainment industry. It was a lavish affair, with the couple exchanging vows in front of a beautiful waterfall. It seemed like the beginning of a beautiful and harmonious partnership, right? Unfortunately, things didn't stay rosy for long. Despite their initial happiness, Janet and her ex-husband began to experience some bumps in the road. There were rumors of infidelity, arguments, and other issues that strained their relationship. But despite all of this, they soldiered on and tried to make their marriage work. They were frequently seen out and about together, attending red carpet events and supporting each other's careers. However, after several years of trying, they eventually decided to go their separate ways and file for divorce. It was a difficult decision, but they felt that it was the best thing for both of them. The news of their split was met with shock and sadness by their fans, who had always hoped that the couple would be able to work things out. But despite the public's disappointment, Janet and her ex-husband were determined to move on with their lives and start anew. At first, many people assumed that these rumors were just that, rumors. But as it turned out, they were true. Janet's ex-husband had indeed decided to sue her, citing various reasons for the lawsuit. After they finalized their divorce, things started getting ugly. 2nd of July, 2001, Janet Jackson's separated husband filed a lawsuit against the singer, alleging she broke an agreement to split property obtained before their 1991 marriage. According to Janet's ex, who filed for divorce from the singer in 1999, Jackson had promised to split the sales of her 1989 blockbuster album, Rhythm Nation 1814, with him. Jackson's ex, who has penned several of Jackson's songs and produced a number of her music videos, worked with Jackson on many of her projects, even though he wasn't her manager. He co-wrote 37 of Jackson's songs during their 15-year collaboration. The songs Together Again, Got Till It's Gone, and I Get Lonely are just a few of those he co-wrote. On her 1997 album, The Velvet Rope, he is the most prominently featured. For the nasty vocalist, he directed several music videos. On her famous Rolling Stone magazine cover, his hands are the ones hiding her exposed breast. He asserts that Jackson also pledged to split equally any assets accumulated following the start of their relationship in 1987. According to the press, the case was submitted in a Los Angeles Superior Court and asked for $10 million in damages. Janet Jackson, a beloved and talented artist, facing a lawsuit from her ex-husband. It's an unfortunate situation, but we'll be here with you every step of the way, bringing you all of the latest updates and trying to find the silver lining in this dark cloud. The news of this lawsuit was met with a mixture of shock and disbelief by the public. How could things have gone so wrong between these two people who had once been so in love? And what could have motivated Janet's ex-husband to take such drastic legal action? These were just a few of the questions that were on everyone's mind as the case moved forward. And as more and more details emerged, it became clear that this was going to be a long and difficult legal battle. But despite the challenges that lay ahead, Janet remained determined to fight back against the lawsuit and clear her name. She was not going to let her ex-husband's actions bring her down, and she was ready to do whatever it took to protect her reputation and her career. Well, according to the legal documents, Janet's ex-husband claimed that she had not fulfilled her financial obligations to him during their marriage. He argued that she had promised to support him financially, but had not followed through on that promise. Janet and her team, however, argued that this was not the case. They pointed out that the couple had signed a prenuptial agreement before getting married, which clearly outlined their financial responsibilities to each other. They also pointed out that Janet had always been open and transparent about her financial situation and had never made any promises to support her ex-husband beyond what was outlined in the prenup. The ex-husband disagreed with the couple's prenuptial agreement. He contested the prenuptial agreement despite having one. At the time, Manley Freed, his lawyer, stated, "We don't have a specific amount we're seeking. The whole financial picture is not yet available, but he is not trying to take advantage of Janet to obtain what he is legally entitled to." The legal battle raged on, with both sides presenting their arguments in court. At times, things got a bit heated, with lawyers from both sides trading barbs and accusations. Janet remained calm and composed. She was determined to defend herself and her reputation, and was not about to let her ex-husband's lawsuit get the best of her. In the end, it was up to the judge to decide who was right and who was wrong. Would Janet be forced to pay her ex-husband the large sum of money that he was demanding? Or would she be able to clear her name and walk away from the lawsuit unscathed? The tension was palpable as the judge made his decision, and when he finally announced the verdict, the courtroom erupted in cheers and applause. Drum roll, please. The judge ruled in favor of Janet Jackson. That's right, folks. Our beloved pop star was able to clear her name and walk away from the lawsuit unscathed. The courtroom erupted in cheers and applause as the judge announced his decision, and Janet was overwhelmed with emotion. She hugged her lawyers and thanked them for their hard work and dedication, and then turned to the press and thanked her fans for their support throughout the legal battle. "I'm just relieved that this is all behind me now," she said. "I never wanted to be in this situation in the first place, but I'm glad that I was able to defend myself and my reputation. I'm looking forward to moving on and focusing on my music and my career." As for Janet's ex-husband, He was understandably disappointed with the verdict. He had been hoping to win the lawsuit and receive a large sum of money from Janet, but in the end, it was not to be. He was gracious in defeat, however, and said that he respected the judge's decision. "I'm disappointed, of course, but I respect the legal process and I'm willing to move on and put this behind us," he said. So that's it. The end of the line for the tragedy of Janet Jackson being sued by her ex-husband. It's been a long and difficult journey, but in the end, justice was served, and Janet was able to clear her name and move on with her life. And there you have it, the conclusion of the tragedy of Janet Jackson being sued by her ex-husband. It's been a wild ride full of legal drama, heartbreak, and triumph, but in the end, Janet was able to come out on top and move on with her life. We hope you've enjoyed following along with our series, and we hope that you found a bit of humor during all the legal drama. After all, laughter is the best medicine, and what better way to cope with a difficult situation than to laugh it off and move on? So, in conclusion, we'd like to thank Janet Jackson for being an inspiration to us all, for her talent, her resilience, and her ability to overcome even the most difficult challenges. We hope that she continues to thrive in her career and personal life, and we look forward to hearing more of her amazing music in the future. And to our dear viewers, thank you for tuning in and following along with our series. We hope that you've enjoyed it as much as we have, and we hope that you'll join us for our next exciting project. So, don't be a stranger. Leave us a comment and let us know what you think. And if you have any ideas for future series or topics that you'd like us to cover, feel free to let us know in the comments as well. We're always open to suggestions and new ideas, and we love to hear what you have to say.